What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Hour, brought to you by FanDuel. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, Joey Wright. And joining us today, we have our great friend, Alfredo Brown. Alfredo is the host over of the Pretend GM show that you can find at Football Guys, along with all of his other work. Alfredo, thank you so much for joining us today, my friend.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad you're giving me an opportunity to redeem myself. Last time I was on here, I exposed myself to the world that I cannot read. So I'm really psyched. Just try reading again. Let's see how it goes.
Have you been practicing your reading since the last time you appeared on this program?
I did. I learned C, cat, H, hat. It's just all rhyming words, though, so I don't know how I'm going to do with this show.
You are in luck. We are only discussing three-letter words that end in AT today, so should be a good game of fortune for you, Alfredo. We got Tim in the chat with another three-letter T word that we're happy about. He said, look, it's Tua, my boys.
Oh.
We had Tua and, handsome
Tim,
guy
check
next to him on,
check your text messages, by the way, buddy.
Yeah, check your text, Tim. On the thumbnail this morning, Mr. Scamper's digging the color scheme. Also, I've been told I say the word scheme incorrectly or grossly.
One more time?
It's skemmy.
Scheme. See, now that I'm thinking about it, it's scheme. But if I don't think about it, it comes out scheme with a
is that like schedule?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like schedule.
Schedule.
You're doing like the proper English of scheme.
Scheme. Yeah, we got to throw that in there. Open JL in here. He's the one who hates it the most. Says I just woke up. Well, JL, that color scheme is not for you. It's for Alfredo and the Miami Dolphins fans out there. And we got DJ in the chat with the Cubs win.
Happy WrestleMania week, buddy.
And happy opening day to you and your Cubs fans. Andrew and you said, man, was hoping for marinara, but Alfredo will have to do. Have you ever heard that one before?
No, I've actually never heard a single joke about pasta sauce, pasta, Italian food. Nothing. Never.
What about you're the only Alfredo that doesn't give me diarrhea?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that one before?
That's never heard that one before, and I hope I never hear it again. I hated that so much.
Well, it's true as far as I know, unless you had something to do with what happened in Vegas. Damon here said, hello, everybody. What's up, Dame? Welcome in, my friend. And Mr. Scampers with the Hey FYF fam, Simon, Joey, Alfredo.
Yay.
Us.
Also, Grim fan in here wants to know if you're ready for WrestleMania, what are you looking forward to? What Hall of Fame inductees are you looking forward to? So, Joey, I'm going to throw this to you first, knowing you're a big wrestling guy. Alfredo, before Joey goes, are you a wrestling guy or are you like me? And we're going to sit here for a moment and nod our heads while Joey talks in another language.
Exactly that. Okay, I have not watched wrestling since the days of The Rock and Stone Cold.
Joey, you got the stage.
30 seconds. A Hall of Fame inductee I'm looking forward to, the most great Muda. He's one of my all-time favorite pro wrestlers. He's on my Mount Rushmore. Turned me on to Japanese pro wrestling. So, yes, great Muda. WrestleMania match I'm looking forward to. I want to see what they're going to do with Edge and Finn Balor for the Hell in a Cell. I think it'll be really entertaining. But, I mean, I want to see Cody Rhodes get the strap. I mean, I love Cody Rhodes, helped found AEW, which I love a lot. And to see him reach the pinnacle that his father never did would be pretty cool. So, I'm done.
This is where I jump in with my one and only wrestling story of all time. I have played as Cody Rhodes in a WWE video game against Cody Rhodes, handling the other controller. He was good friends with one of my best friends growing up's older stepbrother or half brother. So whenever that half brother was home from college, his childhood buddy, Cody Rhodes, came over and we were playing WWE in the basement, and down walks the dude that's on our video game and he sits down and plays with us for a match before walking back up.
That's
just
pretty
cool. blew our 7th grade minds.
That's not fair. I feel like he knows all your moves then.
Exactly. He knew exactly what I was going to do.
He's had a very distinct advantage.
We got Grim in here, said, get some coffee, JL. Yeah, JL, go get some coffee. And DJ said, go Roman. I hope Dominic interrupts the Rey Mysterio speech.
That's probably going to happen, DJ.
Me too. Alfredo, you hope that happens?
Oh, yeah. Very, very muchly.
I will watch the highlights from it, though, because they're going to be on Twitter and I'm going to get sucked in. It will absolutely happen. Guys, we brought Alfredo here today to play a game that we call Fantasy Fortune. Before we get into that game, though, a couple reminders. First and foremost, make sure you're following our guest Alfredo over there on the Twitter. He's on Twitter at the Pretend GM. It's right there below his handsome face on the screen. So make sure you go and follow him right now. He's more than just a pretty face. He's one of the best analysts in the game. And you'll get to watch all of the video content he's pushing out, get his takes. And you might see Joey's face pop up on his timeline from time to time as well, if you give him a follow.
Alfredo has the best show on Football Guys
Oh, shot
because I'm on it a lot. So
fired at Dave Kluge.
That was on purpose from Joey.
oh shoot, I forgot about his show.
Guys, after you follow Alfredo, head on back over here. And if you're not doing so already, make sure you hit that follow button on FanDuel. If you are on Twitter watching this, if you're on Facebook, like that page. And if you are on YouTube, go ahead and like this video and make sure you're subscribed to the FanDuel YouTube channel. They have a whole team of content creators almost as charming and smart as we are to help you guys win some money and win your leagues. So make sure you're following them. You guys ready to get into this game?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey, Alfredo, I have a question for you.
Joe, I have an answer.
Are you ready to lose?
No. Did that go the way you thought it would?
I kind of tuned out when you gave the answer. I just wanted to make
Joey asked it and then moved on to the next part. Joey's trash talking whether he can back it up or not. He's the Eli Apple of the fantasy football game show. We had to talk about that on the morning show the other day, and I said I have that kind of trash talk is my favorite because he even came out and said, I don't care if I back it up. That I forget what his exact words were, but he came out and he was like, I don't have to back it up. I'm just saying it. And I was like, I respect that. He's not acting like he's the best player in the league. He's like, why do I got to be? I can say whatever I want.
Very self-aware.
100%. Also, we had a question in here from Grim Fan for you, Alfredo. Said, what's the significance of the Frosted Flakes box?
Well, every time I finish a box of cereal, I just put it behind me. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually, so this box is like a collector's item from the originally Florida Marlins inaugural season. There's like a little thing up all right, let me see. Can I get it right there? Boom. With the old Florida Marlins logo. This is 1993 inaugural season. So I've got that and like World Series signed baseball and some tickets and some old stuff. Back when I used to like baseball. I'm not a baseball guy anymore, but yeah, I've held on to that. I found it. I was like, that's a cool little thing to put over my shoulder.
So you're a Marlins fan?
I was or am, but I guess every time they win a World Series, they just sell the entire team. So it's kind of hard to be a fan of that.
So the thing with the World Series championships is if you're a wild card team in the World Series, it doesn't count. I just thought you should know that.
Shut up.
Yeah. Go Atlanta.
We got Albert in here with the hello, everyone. What's up, Albert? Welcome in, my friend.
Albert, what's up, buddy?
Glad to have you here. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and pull this game up. I'm going to explain the rules, and then we are going to get started. The game we are playing today is called Fantasy Fortune. It's a lot like the popular TV show Wheel of Fortune, but with a fantasy and NFL twist. Instead of spinning a wheel, contestants are going to be answering 50-50 NFL or fantasy-related trivia questions. You get that question right, you're going to guess a letter that you think is in that puzzle. For every instance of the letter that shows up, we're going to add $500 to your round bank. Now, you can do this up to 3 times in a row. That is, get a question right, get a letter right. Get a question right, get a letter right. Get a question right, get a letter right. But after that 3rd time, we're going to cut you off. You'll have 5 seconds to solve the puzzle. If you're unable to do so, we're moving on to our next contestant. But the good news is you are banking all of that money. It's not sitting in your round bank. It is going into your total bank. Now, during your turn, you have 2 other options besides answering a question that you can do at any point before a question is asked. You can choose to buy a vowel, which requires you have a minimum of $500 in your round bank, because vowels are going to cost $100 a piece per instance that they show up, and you can be charged a maximum of $500. Even if there's more than 5 vowels, we're just going to charge you $500 if there are more than 5 of that variety. The other thing you can do is you can choose to solve the puzzle at any point. Solving the puzzle will net you $1,000 minimum, or however much money you have built up into your round bank, whichever one's higher. So it's not 1,000 plus what's in your round bank. It's going to be your round bank or $1,000, depending on whichever number is higher. We'll go like this till we run out of puzzles or run out of time, at which point the contestant with the most money is our Fantasy Fortune champion. Are you boys ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's do it. This first puzzle is going to be a little bit different than everything that I just said. Let's go and get these names here. What we're going to be doing here is this is a toss-up puzzle. This puzzle, I'm going to just slowly reveal letters of an NFL player's name. Whenever you think you know who the player is, just scream your name out. Whoever buzzes in first, you're going to get a shot to guess it. Get it right, $500, and you get to go first in the first official round. You guys ready?
We should really invest in some buzzers.
Yeah, I have so many more. I have an extra syllable in my name. It's going to take me that much longer. He can say Joey in half the time.
You can just scream Alf if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, scream Alf. Guess who just got a new nickname?
Or Rado.
Nope. Hate them both.
Rado. Redo.
Okay, here is the first puzzle. I'm going to start revealing letters. Whenever you think you know what it is, go ahead and say your name.
Okay. Joey.
I heard Joey, then Joey, then Joey, then Joey. Joey, who do you think this player is?
I think it's Calvin Ridley.
Final answer?
Yep.
Joey, this is Calvin Ridley, which is going to earn you $500 into your bank. And before we move on to our first puzzle, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
He just picked the number 0. How does this impact his? I'm just kidding. He is going to be coming back from the suspension that the league placed on him last year. He's going into his first year with the Jaguars. Alfredo, what's your diagnostic, your prognosis for Calvin Ridley's fantasy value next year?
This is kind of, oh man, we are just by someone.
We just got party crashed. Another Dolphins fan had to join the show to add some competition for you, Alfredo. We got Tim right here with us.
Ready to
That's
go,
actually Buttercup Cabbage Patch. You said the name incorrect.
Oh, true. My bad.
You struggle to read as well.
Yeah, Buttercup Cabbage Patch is here with us.
So Calvin Ridley, man, it's just, I think there's going to be a lot of gray area with him. Like I'm trying to set the proper expectations for him. I think anyone that's expecting him to just come right back into where he was when he was in the Falcons and he was producing like a top wide receiver, I don't think that's pretty much set in stone here. The Jaguars still have heavy target volume with Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for him joining the Jaguars. So I think Calvin Ridley, he worked for you at the right price. And I know it's kind of a cop-out answer, but there's still so much that we have to see with him.
Sometimes cop-out answers are the correct answer.
Yeah, I agree with Alfredo. I do think the Jaguars got I got one person out of the room to clear some space with Marvin Jones signed back with the Lions. So I was kind of glad to see that for Calvin Ridley. I don't think it'll, move the needle too much on him, but makes me feel pretty good about him.
I disagree. Send him to the moon.
Woohoo! Andrew and Mr. Scamper's in here getting that one right. And Mr. Scamper said, sneak attack stash. That stash just coming in out of nowhere. Are those new shades, Tim? Are those?
Yeah, I got them.
Pit Vipers?
I don't know.
They're hot.
They got pink zigzags on them.
Those are sexy, Tim.
Oh, yeah. They're for buckets.
They're for buckets. Well, guys, we are going to get into our next match. We've officially added Buttercup Cabbage Patch to the game.
Yeah.
Joey, you got that one correct. You are going to be going first, and the order will be Buttercup Cabbage Patch, followed by Alfredo after that, and then we will repeat in the same order. The rest of the game operates like it normally does. Tim, you missed the rules, so hopefully you know them.
That's okay, I'll guess.
Get into our next puzzle. Here's your puzzle. This is rhyme time. So how rhyme time works is it's been something like drinking a soda with Marcus Mariota, or playing clarinet with Jacoby Brissett. So it may follow that pattern. Could be any player, could be any rhyme, but we're going to ask some questions to get there. Joey, are you ready for your first question?
Yep. I can't solve yet.
Okay. Here is your first question, Joey. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points? And all of my fantasy points questions will be PPR. So if I don't say PPR, just assume PPR. But Joey, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it DJ Moore or was it Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk is correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
N.
An N, as in Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 N's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000 to your round bank. What would you like to do now? Would you like another question or would you like to buy a vowel?
I want a question, please.
Okay, another question. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Alvin Kamara or was it Dameon Pierce?
Dameon Pierce missed games. I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara is correct. Joey, which letter would you like?
G.
A G. There's 1 G in this puzzle. 500 to your round bank. I see your strategy.
There's a strategy to rhyme.
I was going to do that too.
What are you going to guess next, W?
I'll take another question.
Another question. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Leonard Fournette or was it James Conner?
I'll go James Conner.
I'm sorry, Joey. Leonard Fournette had more PPR fantasy points last season, which means, Tim, we are on to you. Would you like a question or are you going to solve this one?
Yeah, no question. I can't.
Okay.
I keep thinking Kyle Pitt, but there's something wrong with that.
Well, here is your first question. Who has more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Chris Olave or was it Alan Lazard?
I hope it was Olave.
Olave is correct, Tim. That is going to get you the opportunity to guess a letter. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with a W.
A W. There's 2 W's
Ooh,
in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000 to your round bank, Tim. Question number 2, or would you like to buy a vowel?
Or
solve?
I'll buy a vowel. Let's go with an I.
An I. There are 3 instances of an I. Going to subtract 300. Your options remain the same.
Yeah, I don't know that many W words, apparently. We'll go with a question.
Okay, here's question number 2, Tim. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Cortland Sutton or was it Mike Williams?
Brutal. Gosh, I feel like Mike Williams is after. I'll say Mike Williams. I don't know.
Mike Williams is correct, Tim. That one was pretty close, but you got it. Which letter would you like?
T.
You're going to get a bunch.
There are 2 T's in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000.
What?
Oh, I'm not changing your name. I'm adding $1,000. Tim, this is your last opportunity to buy another vowel if you would like to do so, or we can roll into your last question.
I'll buy a vowel. I don't know who the name is. Let's go with an A.
An A as in apple.
Oh yeah.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4 A's.
Why am I so
subtract
dumb?
4.
Why am I so dumb? Usually the chat just does most of it for me, and then I just jump on top of that.
That is a great reminder. Contestants out of the chat, and chat, throw your answers in there if you haven't done so already. Play along. We'll shout you out if you're right.
We'll buy another one. Let's go with the E.
The E. There are 3 E's in this puzzle. Tim, bringing you down.
That's not what I was expecting.
Buckaroonies. What would you like to do now?
We'll buy an O. I'm just trying to stall.
An O. There's 1 O in this puzzle, and that is the last vowel. So there are no more vowels. Would you like to solve, or would you like to take your final question?
Question.
Okay. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Christian Kirk or was it Cooper Kupp?
Ooh, gross. Gosh, is it still Cooper Kupp? I know like he was leading for a lot. We'll say Cooper Kupp. That's gross.
I'm sorry, Tim. It is Christian Kirk, though Cooper Kupp is surprisingly scored an absurd amount of fantasy points in the limited time he played. Also, come here now and say, what? Tim Wright looked the chat for answer? No, he does not.
When
Just
I'm
when
in
he's
the chat. Yeah.
When he's in the chat. When he's on the show, he absolutely does not. Also, Andrew, if it gives you guys any hope, is down here saying this one is so tough. Alfredo, we are to you. Would you like to solve this puzzle or do you want a question?
Oh, I absolutely need to take a question.
Okay, my question for you is who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Amon-Ra St. Brown or was it Garrett Wilson?
Oh, man. It is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is absolutely correct. Alfredo, which letter would you like?
Let's go with an H.
An H. There are 2 H's in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000 to your round bank.
Awful.
Would you like to solve or would you like your next question?
Yeah, I can't solve. I'll take another question.
Okay, another question. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Ramondre Stevenson or was it DeAndre Swift?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson is absolutely correct. Alfredo, which letter would you like?
Let's go with a C.
A C. There are 2 C's in this puzzle, adding another grand to your round bank.
Oh.
So now I have a question for you, Alfredo. Are you going to solve or are you going in for your third and final question?
I can't figure this one out. I think I need another question.
What are we watching?
Okay. One more question.
Right.
Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Tyler Algier or was it Kenyon Drake?
PPR points, Tyler Algier, or who'd you say?
Kenyon Drake.
Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier is absolutely correct by about 50 PPR points. Which letter would you like, Alfredo? Get this letter right. You will bank all of this money.
Probably should have thought about what letter I was going to guess. This is not good.
You got it.
I don't, but let's go with an. Oh my gosh, this is awful.
Come on.
Okay. I think I got it. Let's go with a B.
A
Hey,
B.
all right, there's one.
There are 3 B's in this puzzle. Going to add that. And Alfredo, you've got 5 seconds to solve. Otherwise, this is going to go on to your next opponent, but you will bank the money. So you've got 5 seconds starting now.
Watching with Randall Cobb. Oh my God, no.
No,
you've
unfortunately,
been sitting
Alfredo,
there
but
the
you
whole
will
time.
bank all of that money. So that is going to go down to you. So make
Joey.
sure Joey and Tim. Joey had 1,500. Tim had 900. And Alfredo, you're banking that money. So Joey, this is on you now. Would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I don't know it. I'm going to take a question. I know part of it.
Okay. My question for you is who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Raheem Mostert or was it Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is correct. Which letter would you like, Joey?
L.
L. There are 3
No.
L's in this puzzle. Gonna add
Dang.
1,500.
Watching.
What would
I
you
got
like to
it.
do now, Joey? Would you like another
I got
question
it.
or would you like to solve?
This sucks.
Feels bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got it. This is awful.
I'm gonna.
I want to buy.
There's no more vowels.
Shit.
Joey, I'm gonna move on to your next question.
Okay.
Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Cam Akers or was it Devin Singletary?
Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary is correct by about.
I was going to call you a liar if it wasn't.
What letter would you like, Joey?
An R.
An R. Well, there are
Thank you.
2 R's in this puzzle. We're gonna add another grand.
Oh,
I think you got it.
Damn.
watching Les Miserables with Randall Cobb.
It is watching
Yeah.
Les Miserables with Randall Cobb. Nice job, Joey and Tim.
Do you hear
Welcome
the
to the
people
hell.
The worst
sing,
feeling.
singing the song of angry men? This is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. I'll stop.
I wanted you to get that wrong so badly, so I could say.
I really
in front of
wanted
your
you-
face, Joey.
Hopefully the singing comes through good.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Am I muted?
My favorite comment in the chat was from Scampers who said, "This is English, right?" In
No.
fact, no. No, it's not.
I'd have been mad if I missed that one.
Literally.
And Grimfan said, "Watching New Size Matter with Pancake Comb." So close, Grimfan. I actually had that
Les
one in there first and changed it.
Les
The
Mis
game
is
was
the first show I ever saw on Broadway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you
Never
enjoy
heard of it.
Never seen it. I've never seen the movie.
I know. I've
revealed
definitely
that
seen the
to my
movie.
girlfriend the other day, and she said that was a crime, that you have to see it. So I'll watch it. Dame
lot of
in the
people.
chat getting this one right. Grim fan got it as well right after. And Andrew with a nice Dame. And Scamper's coming in with that. I knew it wasn't English. I knew it wasn't English at all. Well, guys, let's move on to our next puzzle. Joey, you solved that one, which means we are going to start with Tim in the next one. Tim, you are in a little bit of a
fucking-
hole right
Yeah,
now.
and I'm in-
Buttercup?
I'm in the cycle too, where I'll start it off and then somebody else will finish it off. That is brutal.
Well, our next one is a player car mashup. So this is going to be a car and the player's name smashed together. Think of it like our other categories, like movie player mashup or TV show player mashup. But this one's with a car. It's a new category we're trying out in here. And Andrew said, "Keep singing."
Look down, look down. No, I'll stop. My favorite song from that is Confrontation, but you need 2 people to sing it. So
I'll practice, Joey, and then we can sing it next
it's
week.
a great song.
Tim, would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
Yeah, I need a question.
Okay, we're going to move away from fantasy points, and I want to talk a little bit about some individual rushing stats from last season. Tim, who had more rushing yards last year? Who had more rushing yards? Was it Dalvin Cook or was it Tony Pollard?
Oh no, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook's correct, Tim. Which letter would you like?
I was hoping I was going to get it wrong, so I didn't have to guess. F.
An F. Tim, there is an F in this puzzle. Going to add 500.
Good start.
Bank. Also, DJ in here said, "Are we drunk today, guys?" Not I, said I.
Not yet.
During the next show, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Also, Scamper said, "I have a puzzle to submit for this category. Submitting to @JFelicio now." Good call, Scampers. And now I'm making sure you guys are out of the chat. Tim, do you want to buy any vowels, or would you like another question?
No, another question.
Okay, who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Josh Allen or was it Raheem Mostert?
Oh, please be Raheem.
Raheem Mostert is correct, Tim. You saw right through the trick. Which letter would you like?
R?
An R. Well, Tim, there are 2 R's.
Okay.
R's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000 to your round bank. Would you like another question? Would you like to buy a vowel, or would you like to solve this puzzle?
Trying to count some letters, but I don't. Yeah, another question. I'm almost there though, actually, I think.
Okay, this is your third question, Tim. Who had more?
Oh no!
I started it. So who had
Damn
more
it.
rushing yards last
Oh.
season, Tim? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Jamal Williams or was it Saquon Barkley?
Saquon.
Saquon is correct.
All
You
right,
didn't
Tim.
fall for the touchdown
Yeah.
leader as the yards guy. Which letter would you like, Tim?
I'm trying to do some math here. Let's go with a. Oh, dang it, that doesn't help too much, does it? We'll go with the N. I don't think it matters.
N. There's one N in this puzzle. Gonna add 500. And Tim, you've got 5 seconds to solve
Yep.
this puzzle, or we move on.
That is the Ford Bronco Komet.
That is the Ford Bronco
Wow.
Komet, Tim. You
Yeah.
got that
Damn
before
right.
anybody in the chat. You got the mustache to match your Bronco
Mhm.
Komet, too.
Hell yeah.
I was stuck on Ford Explorer, and I was like LER. Good job, Tim.
Nice job, Tim. You got it before anybody in the chat. Andrew down
Let's
here,
go.
Ford Bronco something, and Scampers with the Tim. And Scampers also said, "Just thought of 3 more that don't fit."
Scampers,
Nice.
you silly jackhat.
Well, before we move on, Alfredo, I did want to ask you about Cole Kmet going into next season. Is it time for the Cole Kmet hype train to finally come to a close, or do you think he's going to be a pivotal part of this upgraded Chicago offense?
Yeah, I'm not too excited about Cole Kmet. I was before, but like the hype train just coming to a screeching halt at this point. Like we're just not seeing that Justin Fields of the Bears give you a whole lot of passing volume. Then they go ahead and they sign another tight end, Robert Tonyan. Last season they brought in Chase Claypool. Now they bring in DJ Moore. Yeah, I'm not excited about Cole Kmet.
Tim, you got any hype for Mr. Bronco?
No, I don't. But that is I hope he gets a Bronco and names it that, because that's pretty funny.
The Ford Bronco Kmet, and he's just driving it around.
Hop in my Bronco, babe.
What does the horn say?
Come
Like
here.
it honks. That's exactly what it says.
In that exact voice. That was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
It sounded like Borat saying Komet when he did that.
And Dame said, "Blasphemy." Yeah, I know. Anything negative said about Cole Kmet comes with some harsh reactions back your way. They love some Cole Kmet out there. Well, guys, we are going to move on to our next puzzle. Tim, you got that one, which means Alfredo.
Give
You're
me
going
those
to be
points.
up
Give me those
first
points.
in
Go,
this
go, go,
next one. Oh, Tim, yeah. There's your points. You're on the
Yeah.
board, baby.
We got a game.
We do got a game. It is anybody's game. In your next puzzle, we're doing another mashup. This one is a player-villain mashup.
Ooh.
So this is going to be a player-villain mashup. A villain's name and a player's name smashed together into one. You guys ready? Alfredo, you're up first. Would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I will take a question.
Also, Scamper's correcting us as the horn, in fact, says, "Hop in my Bronco, baby."
Wait, how does he do? I guess he's driving along the street and then he just taps
Imagine
it.
it with the Doppler effect. Hop in my Bronco. He's just like,
Terrible.
pull really loudly. Alfredo, here's your first question. Who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Justin Fields or was it Ezekiel Elliott?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with R.
R. There's one R in this puzzle. Going to add 500 to your round
Not
bank.
helpful.
What do you want to do next?
I'll take another question.
Okay, another question. Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Kenneth Walker or was it Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with M, as in
M. As in
something
who?
with M.
M is in something with M.
Miami.
There is no M in
No!
this puzzle, Alfredo, unfortunately.
Oh, that's what I get.
means we're on to Joey. M is in Joey. It's your turn. What would you like to do now?
I think I can solve,
No way.
Also,
but I
James
want to
said,
make sure.
Tim reasoning all the stupidity always warms my heart.
Yeah.
There's
Tim-
3. It could. Okay. No, I got to take a question. I can't.
Okay, a question for
risk it.
Joey. Joey, we're going to mix it up a little bit now. Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Last season? Was it A.J. Dillon or was it Boston Scott?
AJ Dillon.
A.J. Dillon's correct with 7 to Boston Scott's 3. Which letter would you like?
N.
N as
Dang
in
it.
something
Nancy.
with N?
You know the
Yeah.
villain, don't you? Yep.
There are 1,
knew it.
2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5 N's. Joey going to
Just
add
don't know the name.
5 times $500 to your Brown bank. What would you like to do? Would you like a question? Would you like to solve or would you like to buy a vowel?
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, why do I have this name wrong? Oh God, I'm gonna solve because I think Harley Quinton Johnson.
Can you say that one more time for me very carefully, please?
Man, I just pronounced his name wrong. That's all.
No, I'm just saying. I just need to hear it one more time. I heard something in my
Harley
ear.
Quinton Johnson.
You said it worse the second time. Johansson.
Joey,
That sucks.
unfortunately,
It's fine.
that is
whatever.
incorrect. So we are going to move on. Tim, it is on to you. Would you like to solve this puzzle? Would you like a question, or those are your options?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll try and solve it. How about that? How about Harley Quinton Johnston?
Harley Quinton Johnston is absolutely correct. There is a T in that
I
last
knew it
name.
was Harley Quinn right from the drop, and then I just couldn't remember. Brutal.
I had Quinton, and then it's all right.
It's all good.
This
Joey, it's
isn't
all
as
good.
bad as risky business. So.
You still got the lead, Tim. That's going to give you $1,000 for pulling that one out. And I know Quinton is spelled wrong here, but that's because we used Harley Quinn spelling of Quinn at the beginning of the name.
Okay.
Johnson's spelled wrong.
Alfredo, I went back and forth on which way to spell the Quinn and Quinton on this about 100 times. And then I felt like you would get more mad at me for misspelling Harley Quinn than for misspelling
fair.
Quinton Johnston. So I decided to misspell Quinton Johnston instead of misspelling Harley Quinn.
I mean,
Can we
the
go
other
back
way
to
it
the
doesn't
tape?
work. So yeah. Just
Right.
Joey, man.
Yeah, I got his name wrong. It's okay.
Also, Damon here said, no, Joey. And Scamper said, don't worry. A lot of people say it wrong. Yeah, that T in there is sneaky. I didn't realize it until I Googled Johnson and I got corrected by Google. And then I learned it was Johnston.
Well, guess what I learned today, everybody?
That is Johnston. Alfredo, this guy is my type of rookie wide receiver. I love the big bodied touchdown threats coming out. It's the guys I gravitate towards, like Drake London last year. Seems to be a similar prototype. Are you hyped about Quinton Johnston? I've seen him as high as 1, but as low as 5 or 6 in some people's rookie rankings.
I'm not quite as hyped as everyone else is. I'd say he's less Drake London, a little bit more Treylon Burks from last year. I think that they both, will have a little bit of a learning curve going into the league. Quinton Johnston's going to have to open up his route tree a bit more. For such a big guy who can jump really high, he's not great with contested catches. So he's going to have to find better ways to get open, come down with these contested catches. And because what he's really good at is yards after catch. And if he doesn't end up in a system that's going to utilize him that way, that worries me a little bit. So I've got him as my wide receiver 3 right now, just because of the massive potential, his size, his speed, and that yards after catch ability. But I'm not all the way super excited about him.
And Damon here sounds like she agrees with you. Says he is big, but doesn't play big. So you got a big bodied guy who's not quite playing up to his size. Tim, are you in on Quinton Johnston? Are you hoping your Dolphins draft him?
No, I don't want him on the Dolphins. I think it'd be. I think
we don't have a first round pick, so we
yeah,
can't.
I know we're not gonna, but no, I don't want him. I don't want anybody eating up my Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle targets. So no, I do not want that.
Who needs a first round pick when you have
Nah.
2-1 Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and
Exactly.
Bradley Chubb? You guys are good. You got it. Well, guys, before we move on to our next puzzle, Grim fan has something related to WrestleMania and the game we're playing right now. Said, hey, Joey, I got to ask you, did you catch WWE week this week on Wheel of Fortune? On Friday, the top winners of the week will be on the show to win the tournament championship.
I didn't catch that. I've seen some pictures of some of the people that were on it. So, yeah. I'll probably watch tomorrow then.
Also, DJ in here had a question for us. Alfredo, I'll throw this to you first, but who do you think the Panthers are taking with the first overall pick?
I think it's CJ Stroud, and I think that's the betting favorite right now. And everything that we have seen so far pretty much leads to that point. The timing of the trade right after the NFL Combine, where CJ Stroud went out there and just looked phenomenal all over the field. Bryce Young didn't even participate, and just from their pro days, you got Josh McCown and CJ Stroud getting like buddy. You can almost hear in the audio talking about like, yeah, we'll find you a good place in Charlotte, a house, and so it almost seems like it's a done deal, and the NFL is just kind of asked them like, hey, keep it quiet for now.
Tim, you agreeing with that?
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. But I would love to see them trade out of it for just a haul and then wait for next year to pull their draft on that. Who is Caleb? What's his name? Caleb Williams. I think I would love to see them just overhaul everything. They have a solid defense, but I would love to see them just stockpile and then just go all in next year.
To trade for the first pick, then trade the first pick for a bigger haul would be so
Madness.
much fun to watch. Joe, you think it's going to be CJ Stroud?
Yeah, for a while I thought the Panthers were going to go Anthony Richardson, but then they traded up, and I was like, nope, not anymore.
There was a quote I saw, I forget the exact words and I forget who said it, so really useful, but something along the lines of the Panthers want CJ Stroud just like the 49ers wanted Mac Jones. And that wasn't saying that the 49ers did not want Mac Jones. At that point in the draft process, they did. Like they truly did think they were going to draft Mac Jones and then fell in love with Trey Lance as it got closer to the draft. I could still see them falling in love with Bryce Young again. I know he had an unimpressive combine and that launched CJ Stroud ahead of him. Yeah. I could see come draft time. I'm not going to be shocked if we see the guy who's been projected as the number one overall pick for the past couple of years ends up being the number one overall pick in that draft. So I'm still holding out that maybe Bryce Young ends up there, but we shall see. We shall see. And then Grim wants to know who will take Bryce Young. Probably whoever's number two. Yeah, picking there in the draft.
I mean, the Texans make the most sense, right? Their head coach is an Alabama alum, and just if they're the next team up and he's the next best quarterback, like that's just what makes sense. Yeah. I also think it's a good palate cleanser after the whole Deshaun Watson thing.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to move on to our next puzzle here. This is an NFL fun fact. So this is just a fact that you may not know about the NFL put into a Wheel of Fortune puzzle. Tim, you got that one right, which means Alfredo. Oh, wait, no, who got that one right? Tim did.
I got it.
Well, I mean,
Buttercup. Cabbage Patch.
I stole the scraps.
Got that one right. Which means, Alfredo, you are up first. Would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I'm going to need a question.
Okay, my question for you is who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Who had more rushing touchdowns last year? Was it Trevor Lawrence or was it Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, wow. This feels like one of those trick questions, but I'm going to say Christian McCaffrey.
It was a double trick. It is Christian McCaffrey with 8 to Trevor Lawrence's 5. Which letter would you like?
Been having some luck. Let's go with R again.
R. One R in this puzzle. Alfredo, that brings you to $500. Would you like to buy any vowels or would you like your second question?
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Okay, which vowel would you like?
Let's go with A, as in apple.
There's one A in this puzzle. And unfortunately, now you do not have any more money to buy any more vowels. So would you like another question or would you like to solve this puzzle after that very helpful A?
Yeah, that A and that R, that was super helpful. Let's go with another question.
Here's your next question. Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Was it Taysom Hill or was it Ramondre Stevenson?
Oh, I hate this so much.
Yeah. Brutal.
Oh, I hate this so much. Ramondre Stevenson?
I am sorry. It is Taysom Hill with 7 to Ramondre Stevenson's
5.
5, ruining yet another fantasy manager's day. Joey, that means we're on to you. Would you like a question or would you like to solve this?
Harley Quinton Johnston.
Nailed it, Joey. That's
Thank
100
you.
moral points for you. But would you like to solve this puzzle now?
Yeah, question, please.
Here we go. Here's your question. Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Was it Deebo Samuel or was it Latavius Murray?
Oh, screw you. Latavius or Debo? Oh. I'll go Latavius. I think Debo only had like 3.
Latavius is correct with 6 to Deebo's 3.
Yeah.
Joey, which letter would you like?
We'll go with a T.
T. There are no T's
Womp womp.
in this puzzle, which means, Tim, we are on to you. Would you like a letter or would you like to solve?
I keep trying to throw numbers in here, and I think that's the wrong place, so I'll take a question.
Sorry if I just gave a clue. Who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Tim, who had more rushing touchdowns last season? Was it Patrick Mahomes or was it Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Oh, please be Jeff Wilson.
It is Jeff Wilson Jr. Tim, which letter would you like?
A K?
K. There are 2 Ks in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000 to your score. Tim, I don't know where your letter choices are coming from the last 2 rounds there.
Well, I knew what the first word was. So
that's probably why.
Yeah.
Usually people don't come on here and blank puzzles guess F and K.
Can I buy an E?
You may buy an E. Which letter would you like? Oh.
Still E.
Sorry, my brain short-circuited there for a second. Well, Tim, there were 2 E's. That's going to cost you 200. What would you like to do now?
I'll buy an I.
An I. There's a 1 I in this puzzle. We're going to subtract another 100. Would you like to buy another vowel or would you like to move on to your second question?
Second question. Now I don't know any letters, so that's not
okay. Who had more receiving yards last season, Tim? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Evan Ingram or was it Jerry Jeudy?
Ooh, I know Ingram had like his best year ever. Why not? We'll go Ingram.
I'm sorry, Tim.
Damn.
It is Jerry Jeudy with how many did Jerry Jeudy have? He had 972 to Evan Ingram 766. Alfredo, would you like a question or would you like to solve this?
I will take a question.
Okay. Here is your question. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it TJ Hawkinson or was it Tyler Boyd?
TJ Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson is correct. I thought I might get you with the wide receiver tight end question right after I did the same to Tim, but I didn't. Which letter would you like, Alfredo?
Let's go with C.
C. There
Nice.
are 2 C's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000. You can buy a vowel, you can solve, or you can take question number 2.
I'll do question number 2.
Question number 2. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Chris Godwin or was it Jacoby Myers?
Could you repeat the question one more time?
Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Chris Godwin or was it Jacoby Myers?
Oh, man. Jacoby had a good season, but I still think it was Chris Godwin.
Alfredo, you would be correct. It is
Nice.
Chris Godwin. Which letter would you like?
Oh, man. Let's go with M as in Miami.
M as in Miami, and it worked this time. There was 1 M in this puzzle. Going to add 500. This is your last opportunity to buy a vowel if you would like to do so.
This
Otherwise, we
sucks.
can move on to your third question, or you can solve.
I'll buy a vowel.
Which one would you like?
Let's go with an O.
Oh, there are 2 O's in this puzzle, and that is the end of the vowels. So no more vowels after that.
Sweet.
Cool.
So, Alfredo, would you like your third question, or would you like to solve this puzzle?
Sheesh. All right, let's take another question.
Okay, here's your third and final question for this round. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards? Was it Alan Lazard or was it Christian Watson?
Receiving yards, Alan Lazard or Christian Watson. Watson was good, but most of his production was touchdowns, and he didn't come until later. I want to say it was Lazard. He had like almost 800 or something like that.
Lazard is absolutely correct, and you got the numbers just about
Nice.
on as well. Alfredo, which letter would you like here? Get this right, you bank this money.
N as in Nancy.
There are 3 N's in this puzzle, going to add 1,500. And Alfredo, you've got 5 seconds to solve, or this will go to your contestants or your opponents.
He knows it.
2, 1. That is a bonk, Alfredo, but you're going to bank that 3,200, so it is not a loss.
When the pressure's on, man, it gets so difficult.
Tim, how much did you have in your bank? I forgot.
I had 700, I want to say.
Because you bought a vowel.
Yeah.
Yep. And Joey, did you have anything in your bank?
I missed my only question I had, but
That's correct. But it is your turn. Would you like to solve this puzzle, or would you like a question?
I'm going to solve. A kicker once won NFL MVP.
That is it. A kicker once
so
won NFL MVP. Joey, that's going to earn you $1,000. And shout out to Dame in the chat for getting this one. A kicker once won NFL MVP. It was very close. A kicker once ate nom nom.
I got
Almost.
I got stuck on thinking it was MTV. So I was like, what game show was on MTV that a kicker would have won? Because that seems more likely.
A kicker once won something MTV.
Yeah.
Also, DJ and Grim both coming in here with the fact for us, saying a kicker once won NFL MVP in 1982. The Washington team, Mark Mosley defeated the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. Sorry, did not realize who they beat in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but that was also the year most of the players were striking. And so the kicker was awarded as the most valuable player that season. A lot of players did not play.
Seems like a rousing season.
Seems like a completely rousing season.
And another one through the uprights. Not exciting, folks.
Nice job on that one, Joey. That's going to earn you $1,000. And we got time for one more puzzle.
Yeah.
Make it a juicy one. Make it a juicy one.
Okay. Here is your last puzzle. Your last puzzle category is game day activity. Something you might find yourself doing on an NFL game day is what we got right here. Joey solved that one, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which means, Tim, you're up first, you sexy man. Would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I need a question. That would have been crazy. I would have solved it if I could have. Even if it was just for 1,000 points, that would have been so fun.
Okay. What I want to know is who currently has better odds to win NFL MVP according to the FanDuel Sportsbook for next season? Who has better odds to win NFL MVP? Is it Justin Fields or is it Russell Wilson?
Gross. I imagine Russell Wilson.
Sorry, it is Justin Fields at plus 2,000 to Russell Wilson's plus 4,000 betting odds. Alfredo, would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I will take a question.
Okay, same category. Which one of these players is more likely, has the better odds to win NFL MVP next season? Is it Jordan Love or is it Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones.
I'm sorry, it is Jordan Love at plus 3,000 to Daniel Jones at plus 5,000. Wild, which means, Joey, we are on to you. Same category.
Yeah,
Which
let's
of these
go.
players
Give me
has
a question.
the better odds to win NFL MVP next season? Which of these players has the better odds to win NFL MVP next season? Is it Sam Howell or is it Kenny Pickett?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett is correct. I thought I might get you on the double reverse, Joey, but I did not. Which letter would you like?
I just feel like Pickett's job's a little more secure than Sam Howell's is. So, I will take a T.
A T. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 T's in this puzzle, Joey, adding $2,000. Would you like to buy a vowel or would you like a question?
Buy an E.
What is that last
An E. There are 3 E's in this puzzle. Going to
Wow.
subtract 300.
I'll take a question.
Okay. My question for you, Joey, is which of these teams is currently most likely to win the AFC next season? Which of these teams is currently most likely to win the AFC next season according to FanDuel Sportsbook? Is it the Cleveland Browns or is it the Denver Broncos?
I know the Cleveland Browns are favored second in their division. I'm actually gonna go with the Browns.
Joey, that was a tricky one, but you got it right. It is the
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns at plus 1,500 compared to the Broncos at plus 2,500. Which letter
This is
would you
what we
like?
talked about this morning. Like, who would you pick? This is like the outlier. All right, H, please.
H.
All right.
There's one H in this puzzle. Joey. You're gonna add 500.
Yeah.
Give me a question, please. I don't want to give them too much.
Is this your third question?
Yes.
Okay,
So
'cause
lock
you
in
did
my
the T
money
as
if
well.
I get this right.
Okay, Joey, here is your third question. Which of these players had more passing first downs last season?
I like the odds. Get the odds ones better.
Which of these players had more passing first downs last year? Was it Derek Carr or was it Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is correct in that powerful Lions offense. Which letter would you like, Joey? Get this right. You're banking this money and taking the lead.
An N.
An N.
Damn it, you got
There are
Oh,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4 N's. Bringing up to 4,200. Joey, you got 5 seconds to solve this, or we're moving on.
Reading the Old Testament with Mark Trestman. I don't know.
That is so close, but incorrect. Buttercup cabbage patch. It is your turn.
Yeah, that's that banking that points. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, Joey's banking all that money. Bringing
Joey,
it up.
Your Sunday mornings are really weird.
Tim, would you like a question? Or would you like to solve?
I'm so close. Oh, it's so frustrating. I'll take a question.
Okay.
Can we clip that? Thank you.
My question for you, Tim, is
Damn it.
who has more passing first downs last season? Who had more passing first downs last season? Was it Kirk Cousins or was it Matt Ryan?
Kirk.
Kirk is absolutely correct. Which letter would you like?
L.
L. There's 2 L's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000 to your round bank. What would you like to do now?
I need to.
Alfredo's making a face.
Let me buy a vowel. Give me an I.
An I.
I'm not going to win this game, but I want to get this solved.
There are 2 I's in this puzzle, Tim. Would you like to buy another vowel? Would you like another question? Would you like to solve?
I will take a question.
Okay. My question for you is who had more passing first downs last season? Who had more passing first downs last season? Was it Tua Tagovailoa or was it Ryan Tannehill?
Oh, Tua was out for so long. And did Tannehill even play last season? He
Tired.
We'll go. I guess we'll go Tannehill. I don't know. I don't even know if you could tell me he did anything last season. I'd be surprised either way.
They played a similar number of games, but Tua played 1 more and had more passing first downs. Unfortunately, it was Tua, which means Alfredo, we're on to you. Would you like to solve or would you like a question here?
I'm going to need a question.
Okay. We're going to do some passing first downs with you as well before we move on. Which of these players had more passing first downs last season? Had more passing first downs? Was it Tom Brady or was it Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, gross. Man, Brady was really bad last year. So was Rodgers. I want to say Rodgers.
Sorry, it is Tom Brady is the correct answer on that one, Alfredo. Tom Brady at 237, second place in that category, which means, Joey, we are on to you. Would you like to solve or would you like another question?
Question.
Okay, my question for you is which of these teams won more games last season? Which of these teams won more games last season? Was it the New England Patriots or was it the Las Vegas Raiders?
The Raiders.
The Patriots won more games at 8 and
Did
9
they?
compared to the Raiders at 6 and 11, which means Tim.
Why did I think that the Raiders almost made it to the playoffs?
I thought so too. I
After
think
week one,
every
they
year.
were on pace.
Tim, would you like a question or would you like to solve this?
Can I actually buy a vowel to start?
Yeah, you've got the money. You can buy a vowel.
Can I buy an A?
You can buy an A. There are 2 A's in this puzzle, going to bring you down to 600, but that means you still got enough to buy another if you would like to.
Let me buy an O.
An O. There's 1 O in this puzzle, and that means you still have enough to buy the last vowel if you'd like to do so, or you can.
Sure. Send it. Yep. Give me that U.
Okay. 2 more. Tim, would you like to get another question? Would you like to solve? or those are your only options.
Oh, crap. Give me a question.
Okay.
This sucks.
Here's your question, Tim. Which of these teams had more wins
got it.
last season? Which of these teams had more wins last season? Was it the Detroit Lions or was it the Cleveland Browns?
Lions.
Lions are correct. Which letter would you like?
Give me a G.
A G. There is one G in this puzzle, Tim. I'm going to bring 500 to your score. What's next? Another question?
Yes. Another question. I don't know what that last. Or
Okay,
second
Tim.
to last one.
Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Amari Cooper or was it T. Higgins?
Shoot. Oh no. I'm gonna hate myself for this. Give me Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper is correct, Tim. Which
Yes.
letter would you like?
Why?
Y. There are two Y's in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000, Tim. This will be your last question unless you want to solve right here.
Give me a question. What the hell?
Here we go. Here's your last question. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Jamar Chase or was it Devonta Smith?
Chase.
I am sorry. It was Devonta
Wow.
Smith.
Damn.
Receiving yards last year, which means, Alfredo, we're coming to you. Would you like to solve this or would you like a question?
How much do I get if I solve?
1,000.
All right, that doesn't win me the game. So let me take a question.
Okay, here's your question. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it A.J. Brown or was it Mike Evans?
AJ Brown.
A.J. Brown's correct. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with an R.
An R. This is going to get you $1,000, bringing you up to 1,000. Would you like another question?
I need another question, so let's do it.
Damn it.
Okay. Here's your next question. Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Terry McLaurin or was it Juju Smith-Schuster?
More receiving yards between those two. It was Terry McLaurin.
That is correct. Which letter would you like?
Let's go with a V as in Victor.
That is correct. There's one V in there. And Alfredo, this is your third and final question. What would you like here? A question or do you want to solve?
So once I answer the question, can I solve afterwards?
Yes.
I will take the question.
Okay. Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Donovan Peoples-Jones or was it Austin Eckler?
Yuck.
Yeah, that one was a brutal last one. That's my bad.
Receiving yards, I'm going to still say it's Eckler.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
No.
Peoples-Jones.
No.
Such a monster. Alfredo,
You're the worst person alive.
Alfredo's like, I'm never playing with
Next
you
to
again.
Harley Quentin Johnson.
Joey, I'm guessing you would like to solve.
I know it, but I want to run the score up and give my brother a chance to solve. So I'll take a question because we have time we have to fill.
We do not have time. We have to
we
fill.
don't? Okay, I'll solve. Yelling at the TV in your underpants.
Oh my God. Yelling at the TV in your underpants is absolutely correct. I think everybody on the panel knew that for the last 7 questions, but we got there. Joey, that's going to add $1,000 to your bank, making you the mega winner. But it was a good game from everybody all around.
Yeah,
here.
everybody played a really good game, but I won. So that's
I usually go to a bar to watch the game, dude. I can't watch it in my underpants. It's awful.
I mean, you could do that at the bar.
Yeah, well, I could.
You might get kicked out.
Probably.
Alfredo, I think if there's a win to come out of this feud today, I think everybody watching knows for a 100% fact that you can read.
Yeah, I'm much better at it now.
You seeded that, or you put the seed of doubt in their mind last time, and this time you just ripped it right out. You're like, watch this. I can read for sure.
Yeah, if my mom's watching, all that money for education, well spent.
Worth it.
Yep.
Worth it, Mom. Well, guys, if you're not doing so already, go and follow our friend Alfredo over on Twitter. He's on Twitter at @thepretendgm, and he is an incredible follow. So make sure you're following him. And if you're not sick of us yet, great news. In about 3 to 5 minutes, right over there on the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube channel, we are going to be live for fantasy football pub trivia. Download the Sporkle Party app and meet us over there. Compete against everybody in the chat to see who comes out on top. Alfredo, another big thanks to you for taking the time to come on with us, my friend. Thank you to everybody in the chat. And we will see you guys in about 5 minutes. Adios,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Oh, where's that? I forgot where the outro was.
Find it.